So today's scenario we've got here is called Helping Hand. You and a team of 2 other commanders are tasked with destroying all other commanders on the enemy team. So let's get into it. So here we are on the map, choosing where to spawn. I'm going to decide to go up the top point here. Not entirely sure where the enemy or friendly AIs are going to spawn. So we're going to spawn at the top here. And we're going to wait before building energy again to see how the energy goes. With a max of 20 wind, that's quite high. So we're probably going to be building wind here. And it starts at 11 as well, which is pretty much guaranteed for us to go wind. Now, with the terrain being quite steep, it's quite difficult to go vehicles from up the hill. We're going to go bots instead this time. And then we're going to queue up some extra wind as well, so that we'll build some scouts to find out where the enemy is whilst we're building the wind, enabling us to have the energy to build the constructor units. Now, another advantage of having the factory here right near the ramp's edge is that you should have combat units coming out of this factory pretty constantly. So when the enemy is trying to push you up this hill, you're going to have your freshest, newest units right at the front line, ready to go if they're pushing you up the hill. Also, if enemies get scouts come in and come up the hill, your units that are moving out to the front line should ideally intercept any side-skirting units that are coming up that hill. Now, I've made a bit of a mistake here and haven't queued up my units whilst building this wind here. Which hasn't cost me much. It's going to cost me like a couple of seconds. Which, against AI, not a problem. If you're in a tournament here, it would be obviously quite a problem. Now, another thing to note is the friendly AI on our team here is me. Purple down at the bottom here is me. So there are 2 of me on this map and 1 friendly AI. So not bad. We've got it in the bag. Now the first engineer's out. Second engineer is going to be queuing up some more power. We're going to use the scouts here to find out where the enemy are going. I use the long line move there to split the 2 scouts into different areas. And I'm also going to be moving my commander forward here to build the max point outside the base. As I've got quite a bit of an open area here, I'm going to be building an LLT to defend that mechs. I've got quite a large area to defend. I've got both the top lane and the middle lane here where I'm going to be responsible for. Now we found Yellow's units here. He's got hovercraft. So we're going to try and find out where that is. Now we've also found Orange's base just there as well. So we know where Orange is. And Red has a reclaim bot there at the top as well. Which basically gives me the idea that Yellow and Red are both in the top segment opposite me. And Orange is in the middle. Which means there's pretty much no one at the bottom where my friendly AI are. Which is somewhat troubling for me, because it basically means it's me versus 3 opponents. But it's fine. We'll deal with it. So we're building defensive LLTs here and a radar with the commander on each of these mechs, purely for the, like I said, the reason there's such a wide area to defend here. They could come through the middle and I've got nothing to stop them, as I need my units at the top where there's 2 enemy AIs. And you can see the purple here. My other me is also hovercraft and is sending a unit out to harass. Gonna build a radar on this ridge line, kind of tell me if something's coming from the south. So currently I've got 1 engineer expanding to the north, 1 engineer building energy, 1 engineer just building that quick little bit there, and then the other one assisting. Meanwhile, my commander is walking forward and creating a front line. going to position some units in the middle there to kind of give me a bit of a warning if the enemy is coming. I'm going to use this North Engineer here to also expand to these other mexes behind my claimed front line. And with my next engineer that's coming out, I'm going to expand to the south and claim those other 3 mexes. And here we see enemy pushing some units towards me. A shift drag and get those extra pawns selected. Now what I'm doing here is I'm surrounding the enemy units with my units. There is a, not very well documented, but there is a flanking bonus in this game where if you attack a unit from multiple sides, you will gain additional damage. So although my units weren't necessarily as strong there, because I was able to surround the enemy, I was able to get additional damage and kill them. Also stop that reclaim bot there from getting the resurrection on those units. You can use the commander there as well to move further forward. Now we're starting to get an excess of resources here, so we're going to get a construction turret up to get these units produced quicker and assist the factory. And we've still not had any units come through the middle here, so those 4 those 4 pawns in the middle are perfectly fine. Our Resbot is also getting to the front line here, which is going to be able to either resurrect or reclaim the enemy units that we've got. Use my commander to repair the units I've got as well. Now we're going to build another energy storage and more energy. I'm going to queue up a lot now. It'll be a while before that gets finished, but we always know that we've got some form of energy being built in our base. So as long as we're keeping on top of that, that's fine. I see some units there trying to get past. Realize we need to clear that side up and stop them getting round. And here we go again. We're going to attack from multiple sides to get additional bonus damage. And don't be afraid to use your commander. With the D-gun and with his weapon, he's quite strong. Now he's not as strong if you've come from a game called Supreme Commander. He's not as strong as Supreme Commander's commander. They can be overwhelmed quite easily. So as long as you've got units to support your commander, you'll be fine.
Aircraft spotted.
So here we see enemy air spotted. So they've got some form of air. So we're going to build some air defense in the base and chuck 1 air defense unit in our units just to help protect against that. And we've also changed from pawns to the heavier units here, so that we can tank a bit more shots. We'll get another radar up as well so we can see what's going on. And then we're going to use these to push in, see what we can find. See if we can do some eco damage to the base that's up here. We still haven't seen Yellow's base, mind you, so we're using this as a bit of an assault force here to put as much damage as we can. And here we go, we find a yellow base and yellow comm. And there is a gunship. Now, by the time we pull back here, it would be pointless. So we're going to just push right in. We can get the factory down. There's quite a lot of resources down the drain. There we go, factory's gone. No more gunships from him anytime soon. And unfortunately, with the double LLTs there, it was pretty much done. But we did get the LLT from him degunning it. So right now, yellow's got basically no units defending him at all. Now he's walked that gunship straight into our air defenses, and so he basically also has now no air. So we're just going to mass our units forward now, wait for the stragglers to catch up, and then we're going to start pushing in. Just briefly saw there at the corner of my eye that orange had bombers, so I'm being very aware of that. Getting some of these engineers to build more construction turrets because I've just got still more extra resources, and telling a couple of these engineers here to group up and assist building the energy, which is what we're struggling on right now. So here we go. I'm going to move in, try and take out yellow. Meanwhile, purple and green on our team are actually harassing orange quite well. With it being 2v1, it's they're doing the job. Keeping orange basically off me entirely, so I don't have to worry about it. And here, with the massive amount of metal that I've got extra, I decide I've got enough Tech 1 units being out. Let's transition to Tech 2 and get this finished with. And whilst I was doing that, we've taken out the yellow commander. Now, we don't want them getting the reclaim from this. That would be quite bad. That's 2,000 metal just sat there. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our reinforcements of Tech 1 units forward, and we're going to try and hold that wreckage so that we can get that reclaim ourselves. For some reason the dragged reclaim was not working there. Now that all of that metal's not going to do us any good if we don't have any energy. So they're still building the energy. Get a couple of Tech 2 engineers out. And then, because I feel like it's getting quite close to being over at this point, I just go for the Tech 2 assault bots. And I also have plenty of metal still and not enough energy. So I build a couple of solars there and queue up the Tech 2 engineer to build Tech 2 mexes in the base. Now, with the Roccos we've got here, the rocket bots that is, they can outrange LLTs. So, moving these units forward, we're going to get rid of this factory so that we don't have to keep being harassed whilst trying to defend that, and then we don't have to worry about yellow anymore whatsoever. So once that factory's gone, that's it. And we've got enough units here that we just face tank that LLT. There's enough of them. And that last construction unit there is now dead. So yellow is completely out of the game now. And we go back up to secure the wreck. And I'm going to move that one unit just across there just to make sure that they don't have anything sat down in that corner. I move the Q spot for those fast units there to just get in. And the Strider's going to move ahead and go. Now, we're still having energy issues, which is stopping us from doing anything. So, we're going to try and start building this fusion. We're going to get all of these guys that we're building solar to assist with that. And there we go. So, Orange's commander's just been killed, which only leaves red left. So, now it's 3v1. We don't really need to worry about it too much now because we've probably got this in the bag. We've got a substantial sized army. We've got Tech 2. We've got basically almost half the map under our control and already mexed with Tech 1 mexes at least.
Low power.
We're just going to push in here and clear red. So I briefly, there we go, there's red's comm. So we're going to push forward there. We're going to send the other Tech 2 bots around the other side and take out the comm there. Either force him into our army at the north or die to the Tech 2 ones. It's already getting hit by our friends here, so shouldn't be too much left. And he walks into the middle there, and boom, before our Tech 2 even arrives. And that's it. That's the end of this level. So as you can see there, the key to this level is having map control, getting your units out, using your commander offensively. You need to know where the enemy AIs are so that you can put your forces in appropriate locations to defend against them. Once you push with your commander and get those front lines set up, continuously pushing and taking advantage of your flanking bonus with your commander and units in support, then making sure you transition away from the light bots to the more heavier ones in order to push into the enemy base, and then making sure you constantly have your economy growing. As long as you do those things, you should get past this mission perfectly fine. Any questions, don't forget to pop them in the comments. Alright, see ya.